Well, Seattle Living storyteller Sarah Lehman joins us. Sarah, you've got something pretty interesting for us today.
Yeah, it's very interesting, Grace. Okay, but first I have to take a little questionnaire with you. So what do you think of when you hear the word circus?
Like trapeze and like contortionists and like clowns.
Clowns.
Those are I think, the first things that come to mind.
Perfect. Throw all of that out the window.
Good.
Amazing. Because the circus came to town in Urbana just this past week, but it really was not any of that. It wasn't what you would expect.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out. When you think of a circus, you probably think of this. But when the circus came to Urbana, it's not what you would expect.
We do have a big variety of larger-than-life puppets.
He's not talking about the puppets you might see on Sesame Street or the one you might make at home with an old sock. No, he really means larger than life. What makes your show unique?
Oh, that's a tricky question. I don't think people go to the circus very often, and we really try to bring a circus atmosphere. We don't have animals, but we do have puppet animals. So even if you're not actually going to see like real live horses or tigers or whatever, we do have puppet versions of these, and so we can. We can sort of give that old-timey circus feeling, but it's all people. It's all artists.
It's called Bread and Puppet, and they're touring all over the country. And they made a stop right here in Central Illinois.
They were planning a cross-country tour, and I had the benefit of knowing someone who knew someone on the tour planning team. They hadn't been to Urbana before, and I got a call one day saying we'd like to bring Bread and Puppet to Urbana, and I was thrilled.
There's about 20 puppeteers in the show from all over the world.
I'm from Canada. And I live very close to the American border, where Bread and Puppet is in northern Vermont. So I've been to some of their shows. I've been a volunteer puppeteer for a while, but this is my first time ever touring with them.
The theater toured, gave a workshop like 10 years ago in the town I was living in France, and I happened to be there and took the workshop, and it was amazing.
It's more than just a fun show for the whole family.
So Bread and Puppet has been around since the 60s doing political theater, and so they have this history of supporting arts for social change that I think is really inspiring.
And the circus is like nothing you've ever seen.
I think our aesthetic is a bit different. Our puppets are larger-than-life papier-mâché puppets, which most people probably don't see every day. I'm surrounded by them all the time, so maybe I lose some perspective. Also, we have sort of like a down-home, folky kind of aesthetic. Like that's our style back in Vermont. That's where we bring as we tour around the United States.
The aesthetics of the theater is very strong. So what we're performing tonight is a circus, but which is like joyful and family-friendly. But the theater also does other kinds of shows that are sometimes more experimental, more dark. That implies a lot of more dancing, more text.
Just like any piece of art, the puppeteers say every person who watches the show interprets it in their own way.
Whatever they want, really. We tackle a lot of political issues, obviously, but we also have a lot of fun with subjects that appear not to be related to politics, even if all of them have, politics sprinkled in them.
And on top of bringing some fun and mastering an art, many of the traveling circus get to experience America for the first time in a unique way.
It's the first time I'm actually in the U.S. I've spent some time in Glover, Vermont, but everyone there told me that's not the U.S. So, I was super close to Canada, super small town, and surrounded by Bread and Puppet folks. So I just get to see what the country is actually about, even though it's a shallow image, because I'm spending so much time, like 24 hours in each city, but still traveling around like from east to west and going to the south. So it's just super exciting to have an actual experience of the so-called American way of life. That's not just from the movies or from the songs. That's not just soft power, but actual experience and meeting people.
And then, after the music has died down and the puppets are all put away, the show isn't over yet. The cast makes homemade rye bread, the bread part of Bread and Puppet, that they share with you, the audience.
And we also serve a homemade rye bread loaf at the end of every show.
What's
So,
the significance of that?
to feed the mind and to feed the body.
Your favorite part of the show?
Oh, I mean, I hate to give spoilers, but I personally love to play animal puppets.
Okay.
So I love being in tigers. I love being in zebras. I haven't been a horse yet. I'm hoping to be a horse at some point on this tour. Hasn't happened yet.
Well, we're hoping that for him too, and he has plenty of time, of course. Urbana is not the only place that they are stopping. It's not their last place. They're still traveling and touring, and we have all those details.
So when you arrived to cover that story, was it what you expected it would be?
No.
Did you have the same image?
No, well, I knew it wasn't going to be like your typical circus, like the Ringling Brothers circus, because I already knew it was outside in a park.
Okay.
So I had that in mind already, but
Really helped.
yeah, but I wasn't expecting this.
Super cool story.
Yeah.
Good job, Sarah. Really enjoyed that.